what did happen to Monday and Tuesday? Well, that's a good question. So let me start by saying that what I class as a normal Monday and Tuesday in my line of work, I understand it doesn't fit in with what everybody else might class as a normal Monday and Tuesday, but this one was by no means normal, even for me. This Monday just gone was my wife's birthday. Now we have a bit of a almost unspoken rule of we try and hang out with each other on our birthdays. Unfortunately, my wife wasn't able to. I'm just thinking which way to go. Here, this way. My wife wasn't able to get the day off on Monday, so but we did go out for a meal on Saturday night, so that was all right. And did get to spend some time together. So Monday I decided, well look, I've got a couple of things that I need to tackle. But unfortunately, both of those things were a bit of a task. So the first one being the bushes for the car. I probably said that I'm having a bit of a malarkey with the car. By no means a nightmare, but definitely a malarkey. Anyway, I get onto the company that's supposed to have sent me the bushes, and there's a couple of phone calls back and forth. We get to a point, kind of like a stalemate, where they're like, we've sent you them. I'm like, well no you haven't, I haven't got them. So they wanted to leave it at that. I then called back with a bit of an ultimatum and basically said, look, you've got 40 minutes to hit me up with a signed delivery confirmation, or I'm going to want some further action. So that went down like a fart in a lift, obviously, but it was like, oh, we'll call you back. I got called back, and they're like, oh no, by the way, this is either the 8th or borderline into double figures telephone tennis that we'd had. And the phone call started with, is that Mr. Eggleston, Penrith up in Cumbria? I'm like, yeah. Is it the Suzuki Ignis bushes that you're calling about? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, they're here in depot. So, to be honest, that ate a lot of the morning, just, for want of a better phrase, pissing about back and forth. That just didn't really need to be done, but I had to get the bushes in. And then in the afternoon, equally strange, I ended up sorting my emails out. One of the emails that had to be sorted out was, without going into too much detail, the best situation to describe it is that I ended up saying, look buddy, the law's there and available for all to read. I've read it. If you want me to explain it to you in easy to understand terms, having now read it, then I'm going to expect to be treated like any other solicitor. I'm going to want some bloody payment for it. Otherwise, get on the internet and read it for yourself. Then you can come back at this from an informed position. So that was a faff. Nobody likes reading legal documents and stuff, and especially when, before you even start down that journey, you're like, hang on a second, this guy's full of shit. But anyway, that's done now anyway, and out of the way. So, as weird as Monday was, Tuesday, my wife did manage to get the day off. So we were like, oh, okay, we'll spend a day together now. And this is where the next story comes in for Tuesday. So, yesterday, being Tuesday, I received a phone call from Nigel Page. Now, obviously, as an old school mountain biker, I've got a hell of a lot of respect for Nigel Page, and I've followed what he's been doing for a long time now, a lot of years. What I did not expect was to receive a phone call from him on a random Tuesday, and I didn't expect to be up a ladder while I was taking that phone call. So that was the weirdest thing that had happened for a long time. If I was going to be speaking to Nigel on the phone, I really didn't expect to be speaking on the phone with one hand and clinging onto a ladder with the other. Anyway, that happened. what do I mean by saying getting back to normality? Well, by that, just doing a bit of bike park husbandry, I suppose, is one way of putting it. But at the same time, there's a couple of things that aren't quite normal and are a bit unexpected that I've had today. First of all, I was at the cabin, didn't bother picking up a jacket, didn't need to, haven't needed a jacket all day. That's not been normal over recent months. What else? Twice today I've seen wasps. That's not been normal, but it is definitely a sign that spring's here. They don't come out until the springtime. I mean, it doesn't matter what it says on the calendar about first day of spring. First time you see wasps in here, that definitely means that spring's here, so whoop whoop. And then the other side of things is just cleaning up in dry earth, not being muddy, and low impact tidying up. So like you're just using a rake and just kind of tidying things up that way. You're not having to shovel stuff out of the way, and it's just a nice change. I think I mentioned earlier about being up a ladder yesterday. Well, the reason behind that is yesterday I was, myself and my wife were over at my mother and father-in-law's house, and we were helping them clear out the garage. Now, there's a couple of things that have come out of that. Is there was some bits and pieces that my father-in-law just didn't want anymore and wanted to get rid of, and some of those were metal straps. I say straps, pieces of steel. They're, you know, quite thick, sort of 6mm thick, but they were also, they're drilled as well. I'm not sure what they've originally been used for, but they're something to do with the construction of the house that he basically kept and now no longer needs. So I've got them now. What does that mean? Well, it means that they're going to be perfect for using in this feature in here. I'll show you why. On the bit on the raised platform section of the landing, so we've got takeoff landing. When I get all of this filled in and all of the logs in here, I mentioned about wanting to go from underneath and crisscross and strap. Now, the reason behind that is it's a good way of strengthening. And obviously these, you know, these are already in, but they're it'd be nice to put some straps in to stop them from moving anywhere. Now it can be done with screwing in bits of wood, but it's even better to use metal. So they're going to come in really handy. Thanks, Col. Also, while I'm over here, I should probably add some clarification as well while I've got the chance. Because this section of track is clearly visible from GAP, I've had a lot of people come back to the cabin and say, oh, we've seen what you're building, and we think that the landing's a bit short. Well, that's the reason for that is they're taking the landing as only being as long as the woodwork. The landing is actually where this stuff's scratched out to here, so if I get down a bit I should be able to show you a bit better. So hopefully they're not as prominent as they were, but hopefully you'll be able to see 3 marks scratched down that have left little piles on here. All of this earthed area is getting dug and shaped up that way and moved on towards the bottom of the landing, which actually makes the landing zone, it stops it, the landing zone doesn't end until somewhere down here where I'm standing. Now to that tree there is 40, from the takeoff is 48 feet. Now if you wanted, obviously these stumps are going to get moved out and the track continues down there. If you wanted, you could still put down here somewhere. I don't know if that many people are going to be sending a 50-foot hook though. Anyway, it's probably, I know some of you already know this because you've heard it on other videos, but just for clarification for all the people that have kind of commented and gone, oh, the landing finishes soon. Well, no, the wooden part finishes soon. The actual landing is way longer, probably twice as long as what the wood structure is. So March is possibly a little too soon to be talking about this, but there's all kinds of people watch these videos, so it's worth mentioning. So my intention for this track is to get it open as soon as possible. But my intention for this feature here in the summertime, mid-summertime somewhere. Anyway, I haven't got a date in for it yet, but I'm just playing with this idea in my head, and as usual here at GNAR, I'm happy to share stuff early with you. What I'm thinking of doing is, for this particular jump, is having a bit of a, for want of a better phrase, an air and style session on it. Not so much a competition. There will be, the intention is for the prizes. I don't want to go hardcore on a podium sort of thing, but kind of best trick, best style, sort of along the idea of Fest series. So it's not hardcore and competitive, and it's in a jam style configuration. So there'll be, my thoughts are unlimited runs at the feature, just like a time frame. So we do it from between, I don't know, midday and 3, or you know, just have like a timed session at it, and we'll get this part taped off, get some spectators in, get some judges in, get some, hopefully some sponsors involved, and some prizes and stuff. Definitely video it, definitely have photographs taken of you flying through the air and throwing your shapes, and just have a bit of crack, you know. So anybody who's into doing events of that nature that might be watching this, you know how to get in contact with me. Let me know if you've got any thoughts, but otherwise, as usual, I'll crack on and do it on my own. What I also wanted to talk about today was time frames. Now, it won't surprise you that I've always got a list of jobs in my head, and always got a load of things that need to be done, and I've 99.9% of the time got a very distinct time frame for those. Now obviously sometimes life jumps up and kicks you in the balls, and you've just got to deal with what's happened. So I've had a few things happen recently that just had to deal with. Cars give you trouble sometimes, that's just how it is. Now that has kind of, well, it has thrown a spanner in the works for time frames. But now that we're looking closer to have these issues sorted, it's time to get back on track and replan for when things are going to happen. So the next job that I want to focus on, and this is kind of the order that I want to do it in. Next job being to have the 4 wagon loads and the 80 tons delivered to do the roads. So that's what I want to focus on and concentrate on next. Obviously I kind of need my car back to get all that stuff done, but we're nearly there with that. Once the roads are done, I'm going to move on back over to Electric Landlady and get that one tied up and finished off. Once that track's in and done, I'm probably going to want to make a video for that track, so we'll get that video up and out. Then from there I want to put the track that sneaks in between GAP and Electric Landlady, and is, in terms of difficulty, just one up from GAP, and we'll get that one in. Then I want to go one up from GAP, from Electric Landlady, and go one up in difficulty level, but I'm aware that that'll be quite a big build, so I need to make a decision on that. Or if I don't, then I'll carry on with my idea of putting into this back section in here, putting like a little sort of warm-up jump track, pump and jump type track in there. So that's something that another one I want to get in as well. And obviously those jobs are going to take some time to do. While I'm doing them, I'll have time to figure out what the next set of jobs are. But I suppose just to let you know where I'm at, and I'm now kind of coming out of the difficult period, so to say. I'm going to touch wood. I'm going to touch wood saying this. I am, touch wood, having my car done and sorted this Friday coming. said that in the last video and obviously jinxed myself. But that should be sorted soon, and then that's going to get me constant mobility again, and it allows me to get up there and speak to the people that do the aggregates, and ultimately get up there and bloody pay them for it and get a delivery date. That's what I'm wanting to do, and then we can get sorted and get that job done. Anyway, a lot going on as usual. It's always the way here. But the real big news is that it's spring. Spring is here without a shadow of a doubt. It's all day in a jumper, no need for a jacket. You can't hear them at the moment, but when I've been over there working this afternoon, you've been able to hear all the buzzards circling around, and they sound like they're kind of getting ready to nest build. There's wasps out. It is spring's here, so and everything's starting to dry up, so yes, get in. Anyway, that's the end of Wednesday. Who knows what Thursday's bringing. Right folks, Thursday morning, I am here at the Cumbria LEP, which is a local enterprise partnership at their meeting rooms just outside of Penrith. There's a seminar on this morning about European funding, which is, as many of you will know, I applied for about 18 months ago. It's a 2-hour seminar and meeting, and it started at 10 o'clock, finishes at 12. It's now 25 past 10, which means I have lasted all of 25 minutes to sit through a death by PowerPoint on how to write an application that will be approved by DEFRA for an hour and a half. When you've already done it and you know how to do it, it seems like an utter waste of time. So I've kind of gained the information that I need to know. It's not good, but hey, I wasn't really expecting much from this. Anyway, I'm sure as shit not going to sit for an extra hour and a half through somebody mumbling on through a PowerPoint presentation when I don't need to. So I am off ski. I'm going to blow this popsicle stand, as they may say. So what I've decided to do is I've saved myself an hour and a half by leaving that meeting and missing out the part that tells you for an hour and a half how to do something that I've already successfully done. And I'm going to try and do something now that I didn't successfully do a month ago. So if you've been following the vlogs for a bit, you'll notice that, or you'll know that last month I tried to come over to the edge of Kendal to a new shop called Lake Cycles. That didn't work out. I came on a Monday, they closed on a Monday, and then I had that whole thing of realising that it was nearly Valentine's Day and I've got to get sorted out for that. And anyway, today is Thursday, so here we are over at Lake Cycles, and they're open and I can go and find out what's going on. Right, Friday morning, that's the car dropped off, but it also puts me on Shanks's pony. Probably going to roll up the video from here. I'm crossing fingers, you know what, bollocks, I'm going to keep to the old tradition. Crossing fingers and touch wood, everything will be alright, and I'll get the phone call tonight to say, dude, come and pick your car up, it's tickety boo. That's the plan. It's kind of drizzling a bit now, which is a bit crap considering it's been lovely all week, but the sun's up there, trying to peek through. We'll see what goes on. Anyway, email and crap like that to do now, but I'm going to close it off here. That's been my crazy week. Can't wait to get back to normality. Thanks very much for your time. I'll see you soon.